Welcome back. In this next dark story, we will be talking about the most haunted places in Alabama. Let's dive in and explore the dark history, demonic, supernatural, and chilling mysteries in the state. Don't forget to like, share, and please subscribe. Alabama does not feel haunted because of one ghost story, one cursed house, or one forgotten battlefield. It feels haunted because the entire state seems to breathe through buried history. Iron furnaces that swallowed men alive. Cemeteries where children are said to still laugh after midnight. Mansions with candlelight burning where no flame should exist. Dinner rooms where the dead appear in the glass, and coastal forts where soldiers still march through tunnels that should be empty. From Birmingham's rusted industrial hell to the dark Gulf wind of Fort Morgan, Alabama's most haunted places carry a different kind of darkness. Not just ghostly, but oppressive, ancient, and in some stories, almost demonic. These are places where grief does not fade. It waits. It waits. Sloss Furnaces rises out of Birmingham like the skeleton of a dead machine. All rusted towers, black pipes, catwalks, furnaces, and iron chambers that look less like a historic landmark and more like the remains of something built to feed on human suffering. During its industrial life, men worked in suffocating heat, smoke, molten metal, and danger, so constant that death became part of the machinery. The legend that gives Sloss its darkest reputation centers around the graveyard shift and a brutal foreman known as Slag. Wormwood, a name whispered in Alabama ghost lore like a curse. According to the stories, Slag pushed workers beyond human limits, forcing them to labor inside a furnace world where one mistake could mean falling, burning, suffocating, or simply disappearing into the noise. Whether every detail of the legend can be proven or not, Sloss carries the weight of real industrial misery, and that misery feels baked into the metal. At night, Sloss does not feel abandoned. Visitors and paranormal investigators have reported screams echoing from places where no one is standing. Sudden drops in temperature in the middle of Alabama heat, footsteps crossing metal platforms overhead, and dark figures moving between the pipes like workers who never clocked out. Some say they have heard a voice ordering them away. Others claim they felt invisible hands grab, push, or scratch them in the dark. The most terrifying stories describe a presence that does not behave like a lost soul, but like something angry, intelligent, and still in command. In the deepest parts of Sloss, where the walls are stained with soot and the air smells like old fire, people say the shadows do not simply move, they watch. And when the wind pushes through the furnaces, it can sound like men screaming from inside the iron. Next, the Maple Hills Cemetery in Huntsville is not just old, It feels endless. Established in the early 1800s, it stretches across nearly 100 acres and holds tens of thousands of graves, including soldiers, families, children, politicians, and names so weathered by time that even the stones seem to have forgotten them. But the part of Maple Hill that chills people the most is not the oldest grave or the largest monument. It is the fenced playground near the cemetery, known in local legend as the dead children's playground on paper. It is just a playground near a burial ground. At night, it becomes something else entirely. A place where innocence feels twisted into warning, where swings hang still under the trees until someone notices they are moving with no wind. People have reported hearing children laughing in the darkness, soft little voices rising between the gravestones, and the metallic creak of swings moving back and forth when no living child is there. Some stories connect the haunting to children buried nearby, including victims of old sickness, while other darker versions claim the playground sits too close to sorrow that was never properly laid to rest. Visitors describe glowing orbs, small apparitions, shadows darting between the rocks, and the feeling of being watched from the cemetery fence. The horror of Maple Hill is not loud. It is quiet, childish, and wrong. It is the sound of a giggle behind you when you are alone. It is the sight of one empty swing moving slowly, then the one beside it moving too, as if something invisible has invited more dead children to play. The Drish House in Tuscaloosa is Southern Gothic terror made real. Tall columns, old wood shadowed windows, and a tower that has become one of Alabama's most unsettling haunted legends. Built in the 1830s by Dr. John R. Drish and his wife Sarah, the house carries both architectural beauty and the heavy memory of the antebellum South. Its legend darkened after Dr. Drish reportedly died following a fall down the stairs in 1867. Sarah, consumed by grief, is said to have held a wake for him in the tower, surrounded by candles. The story grows more disturbing after her own death, when the candles she wanted for her funeral could not be found. In Alabama ghost lore, that unfinished wish became the wound that never closed. For generations, people have claimed to see strange lights burning in the tower of the Drish House, ghostly flames where no fire should be, glowing like funeral candles lit by invisible hands. Some call them the death lights. Others say Sarah Drish still moves through the house in white, appearing at windows or drifting through rooms with the slow, miserable patience of someone still waiting for her own burial rite to be completed. Reports describe footsteps in empty rooms, sudden cold spots, flickering lights, voices, and objects moving without explanation. But the most frightening version is not that Sarah is simply haunting the house. It is that something answered her grief. Something old and hungry learned to wear her sorrow like a veil. And when those tower lights appear, Locals do not always see them as candles for the dead. They see them as an invitation. Gainesridge Dinner Club in Camden looks warm from the outside, almost too beautiful to fear. An old southern home restored into a restaurant, glowing with hospitality, history, and quiet rooms full of antique charm. But the building dates back to the 1800s, tied to Rev. Ebenezer Hearn, a War of 1812 veteran and Methodist circuit rider, remembered as an important religious figure in Alabama history. That contrast is what makes Gainesridge so unsettling. It is not an abandoned ruin. It is not a dark prison or a battlefield. It is a place where people sit down to eat, talk, laugh, and celebrate, while the dead are said to move around them like uninvited guests who never left the table. The haunting stories at Gainesridge are some of the creepiest in Alabama because they happen in such ordinary moments. Guests and witnesses have reported the smell of smoke when no one is smoking, the cry of a baby when no child is present, and the apparition of a tall, gaunt, bearded man dressed in black appearing like a reflection that should not be there. Even worse are the stories of a woman seen floating past windows screaming or calling out from the dark. Imagine sitting in a dining room, silverware on the table, the air thick with old wood and candlelight, when a baby begins crying from an empty room. Then the smell of pipe smoke rolls in. Then someone looks towards the glass and sees a woman drifting past outside, not walking, floating, her face twisted in terror, as if something inside the house is still chasing. Gainesridge does not feel haunted by one spirit. It feels crowded by them.
And finally, the Fort Morgan stands at the mouth of Mobile Bay like a brick guardian that has seen too much blood, salt, smoke, and war. Construction began in the early 1800s, and the fort later became famous for its role in the Battle of Mobile Bay during the Civil War. Its walls, tunnels, archways, batteries, and parade grounds were built for defense, but they now feel like a maze designed to trap echoes. The Gulf wind moves through Fort Morgan with a voice of its own, dragging sea air through dark corridors where soldiers once waited for orders, bombardment, sickness, fear, and death. In daylight, it is a historic sight. At dusk, when the light drains out of the tunnels, it becomes something much older than a fort. It becomes a mouth. Visitors have reported phantom footsteps in empty corridors, whispers in the tunnels, distant cries, the sound of boots marching where no soldiers can be seen, and even echoes of cannon fire near the water. Stories also speak of a mysterious woman wandering the grounds, especially on misty nights, as if she is searching for the place where her life ended. The most disturbing thing about Fort Morgan is how sound behaves there. A footstep can seem to come from behind you, then ahead of you, then from inside the wall. A whisper can travel through the brick and brush against your ear with words you almost understand. Some say the dead soldiers are only residual echoes trapped in repetition. But others believe something darker moves beneath the fort, something that learned from war, grief, and fear. When the Gulf fog rolls in and the corridors turn black, Fort Morgan feels less like a monument to history and more like a sealed gate. And whatever is on the other side still knows how to march.
Thank you for your continued support. Please subscribe, like, and share. Your support helps motivate us to keep bringing you more true haunted stories, terrifying legends, and chilling paranormal mysteries.